Okay, I have to compliment Donald Trump here. Donald Trump said yesterday that he would be happy if people vote for Green Party candidate Jill Stein for president because it would draw votes away from the Democratic presidential nominee Hillary Clinton. This was at a rally in Toledo, Ohio. Trump appeared to sort of dismiss the third party candidates, saying, quote, "I think a vote for Stein would be good. That's the Green Party because I figure anyone voting for Stein is going to be for Hillary. So I think vote for Stein is fine." He also added, referring to Gary Johnson without mentioning him by name, that he doesn't, quote, quite get the appeal of the, quote, other guy, seemingly referring to Libertarian Party candidate Gary Johnson. Is this the first completely accurate and honest thing that Donald Trump has said the entire election season? And I might as well take this opportunity, Lewis, to address something we've been dealing with for several weeks now. Tons of people email me, David, two questions really. Will you support Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate? And why won't you interview Jill Stein? So first of all, we did interview Jill Stein. We gave her twice as much time as most of our guests receive. It's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/The David Pakman Show. Check it out if you want. Okay. The reality from a voting perspective, and I've mentioned this before in our Bernie or Bust extensive look, in non-swing states, voting green is not going to do much in terms of electoral votes for Donald Trump. We have an electoral college system here in the United States. If you're in a safely blue or safely red state this election, which the list is a little different than in prior elections, your vote for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson is unlikely to have an impact on the election. In other states, swing states, if you understand the importance of preventing Donald Trump from being elected, there is no way that it's justified to vote for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson. Now, will I support Jill Stein? Will David Pakman vote for Jill Stein, given that I vote in Massachusetts? No. I don't like a lot of what Jill Stein says, and I don't like how she does it in terms of the way that she will make very, very broad blanket statements that to me are not appealing. A few examples here. Number one, Jill Stein wants to completely end aid to Israel. Hey, I'm against a lot of Israeli foreign policy, but I don't want to completely end aid to the lone democracy in the entire region. That makes absolutely no sense. I acutely disagree with Jill Stein on that topic. Jill Stein supports the BDS movement, a movement which the name makes it sound like they're just for general boycotting, divesting, and sanctioning countries whose policies they disagree with, but actually it's just about Israel. I will not support a candidate that supports the BDS movement, period. Some in our audience disagree with me on this. Hey, I say it with peace and love. Political disagreements, let's have them. Let's have those conversations. I've been very clear and upfront. That is a movement that I think is both counterproductive and misplaced. Check out my other videos on it. I am more on the Bernie Sanders side when it comes to Israel and Palestine, who has described himself as 100% pro-Israel while advocating Palestinian rights. That's my position, not the position of Jill Stein. She also refers to Israel as an apartheid state. If you have any sense of the definition of an apartheid state and you apply that to Israel, it makes no sense to me. And then lastly, Jill Stein also, she wants a, quote, moratorium on GMOs and pesticides until they are proven safe. This is such an anti-science statement to make. Number one, wrapping GMO and pesticide as one thing is very counterproductive, right? Pesticides and GMO are two totally separate things. And there is actually a ton of research on GMO food, and there is no evidence whatsoever that food is unhealthy to humans based solely on being genetically modified. Of course, it happens that many foods are both genetically modified and pesticides are used, and there's all evidence that the pesticides are harmful to human health. I don't agree with that. These blanket statements that check off liberal talking points, Israel bad, GMO bad, etc., doesn't appeal to me, Lewis, and I will not be voting for Jill Stein. I will be voting here in Massachusetts for Hillary Clinton in the fall. Although I have many political disagreements with her, I will be voting for her.
Yeah, that's fine. You're allowed to do that. I am also not a fan of Jill Stein. There's also just something about the way she carries herself and the way she addresses some of these issues, not her stance in particular, that just kind of irks me.
I find her off-putting also, and a lot of people will email me and they say, David, this is not about, you're talking about tone and personality and blah, 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 and you really shouldn't. Well,
Another reason why I don't like Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, well, so number one, I've sort of stated my policy objections, but I also don't think I'm doing anything wrong just as a commentator by saying, yeah, the entire demeanor and the way she handled herself, even in the interview with me, I didn't find particularly inclusive or appealing. And that's how I'll cast my vote. Everybody gets one vote. I get no more votes than anybody in our audience and no fewer votes, and my vote will be going to Hillary Clinton, as I have said. Let's take a break. We have a huge program for you today, and I'm really glad you're with us. Warby Parker is offering a free 5-day home try-on to give you the opportunity to check out their glasses. I personally wear Warby Parker glasses when I'm not wearing my contact lenses, and I also started with one of these free at-home try-ons of 5 pairs of glasses. You can get your free home try-on and support the David Pakman Show at warbyparkertrial.com/TDPS. I don't really like going into glasses stores and trying on glasses while the salesperson sort of hovers over me, and I like more than 30 seconds to actually figure out whether I like the glasses. So with the Warby Parker home try-on, I was able to pick 5 pairs that I liked, put them on in the comfort of my own home, pick the one I like the most, and then Warby Parker put my prescription lenses in there for me. A lot of people don't know that the eyeglass industry is controlled by just a few big corporations that keep prices very high, like $300 for prescription glasses high, which is just insane. Warby Parker glasses start at $95. That's what mine cost. And for every pair of glasses sold, Warby Parker distributes a pair of glasses to someone in need. You can try 5 pairs and see what you like. Check out the at-home trial and support our show by going to warbyparker.com/TDPS. It costs nothing.